Hello and welcome to Taking School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I'm your host, JP John, Pause from the two-man power trip. Of course, joining me is the star of the show, the former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, how are you doing today, sir?
John just got done digging out of snow, so I'm good.
So that means no JPWA so far this week.
No, we've had JPWA. We started yesterday. Everybody was the snow was melting, but man, we got like 12 inches of snow. It's
I
crazy.
can't believe that. That's so weird. Usually up here in the Northeast, we usually get way more than you guys, I would think.
Well, we're in the southeast, so
Well, I mean, where I am, I figured I would always have more snow. We only got about 4 inches.
well, like I told you before, generational storm once in a lifetime.
Yes.
But no, we had class yesterday, and we did promos tonight.
And
So
nobody
everything's
made an
good.
excuse about the snow, right?
No, because they were all
Oh,
socked in too.
oh, good, good. Okay.
Yeah. So
Barbara, she's on time today. Yes,
outstanding.
yes. Oh, a
Yeah.
little surprise, Dr. Tom. Look who's back. Ibsen's back. He said
Evan.
he said he might not make it, but he's back.
All right, man.
Yes.
I'm gonna check the post office. Ibsen.
Yes, he's got to
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah. We don't have a box at our Myers Lane location, so I'll check.
So what's going on with JPWA right now as far as the training? What are you guys doing?
We're on our second week. We did promos. We trained last night. We got in the ring. We did some cardio stuff. We did some man in the middle stuff. So we're looking good for the winter.
Ibsen says, okay, thanks.
Sure.
Interesting thing I have about the Iron Claw that I wanted to bring up, but Scorch brings up an even better point here. He says, good evening. One of the best scenes in the Iron Claw is when Kevin tells his sons, I used to be a brother. Then then they say to him, we will be your brothers, Dad.
Sounds about right. It's a
Pretty
good scene.
emotional scene there. Yeah, for
Sure.
sure.
Well, it
It's
was an
great.
emotional story.
It's crazy too with him. He did used to be a brother. I mean, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, David, Mike, Chris, Carrie. Yeah, it's 4 brothers passed away. Actually, 5 because Jack Jr.
Jackie.
passed away
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could be worse.
Did you hear what Adele said about the Iron Claw? Adele, the movie star.
I did not.
She said it's the greatest movie she's ever seen.
Okay.
Do you agree with her?
It may be the greatest movie she's ever seen. She
I
might
always
have
thought
seen
that
too
was.
many movies. No.
I thought that was kind of coming out of nowhere from Adele. I don't know. I didn't know she was a wrestling fan, or maybe not, but pretty crazy
Maybe,
from her.
maybe she just saw it and said it was the greatest movie she's ever seen.
Do you agree with her or no?
Well, it was a good movie, but it's not the greatest movie I personally have ever seen. I've seen a
What
lot
is
of great movies.
what's the greatest movie you've ever seen?
Okay, now we're playing this game.
The Searchers, maybe?
No, I've never seen The Searchers, but I like Reservoir Dogs is one of the greatest movies I've ever
Oh,
seen. Yeah,
yes, yes. That's a good
yeah.
one. That is a
Actually,
good one.
it doesn't make the Von Erich movie any less,
Right.
by all means.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? No, nothing? That's not up there?
No, no, it's
Damn,
not up there. Not for me. I haven't. I'm talking about movies I've seen, John. Have you
I
seen
thought you were a
the
big
Man Who
John
Shot?
Wayne fan. I thought you were a big John Wayne fan.
Is that right? Is that
Yeah.
what you thought? Maybe
Yes.
you guys should get more snow up there. Maybe you should get out more.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Jason, hello. Dr. Thomas John, hope you're both doing well.
Jason.
Interesting from ATF, and you know ATF Media loves Ronnie Garvin, so here we
Of
go.
course.
I heard Paramount wants a movie about a real wrestler and has green-lighted Hands of Stone, a movie about Ronnie Garvin. Can you confirm?
I can confirm, and Paramount is in talks with Ronnie right now. I talked to Ronnie 2 weeks ago, and he said he's very happy with the stuff in the contract, and he's okay with it. So it should be started real soon.
I love that ATF loves Ronnie Garvin this much, and that would be great if they did make a movie about Ronnie.
Do you not like Ronnie Garvin?
Oh, I love Ronnie.
Well, I think it's just like ATF Media wants to highlight his love for Ronnie Garvin. I think that's okay.
Did Dr. Tom know the Von Erichs back in their prime?
Yes.
What were they like?
They were like everybody at that age.
What does that mean?
Let me
Drinking,
ask you this.
partying, crazy?
Yeah, for that time in the business, that's what the business was. There was a lot of young guys getting into the business back then. There was a lot of drugs, sex, and rock and roll everywhere you turned. And for those guys, especially, I was never in the heyday with the Von Erichs down there with those guys, but that's where I got some of my first matches, and that's where I first met Kevin and David. I met Kerry later on, and Kerry even came to Alabama for a few weeks, and so back then it was a different era, different place, different time, completely. No cell phones. You couldn't get away with any of the shit we did back then. Or maybe you could, but it wouldn't last.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a crazy time. It really was.
Barbara asked, what about the good, the bad, and the ugly? Were you a fan of that movie with Clint Eastwood?
Well, no, I never actually was a big westerns guy. I liked Tombstone. That was great storytelling, I thought.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big
Tombstone.
western guy. I'm not a big John Wayne guy. I liked well, I like Reservoir Dogs.
Great movie. I was just talking to, you remember Mace and Mansoor? They were
Yes.
doing the Maximum Male models. They pitched an idea for Reservoir Dogs, like that type of gimmick, and they didn't do it.
Well,
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
you
creative.
know what? Do you watch OVW?
Once in a while, if I'll see it online or something, but I don't catch it nearly enough.
I actually watched it last night or yesterday afternoon before class,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and they've made a big change, and it's a pretty subtle change, I think. So um, I think they're getting influenced by movies and things like that too. So
I like that.
yeah,
Del Mountain, during the opening scene of The Iron Claw, I told my date that Doris Von Erich was pregnant with the Texas tornado. She said, pregnant with tornado? I said, not a literal tornado. Come on.
why am I not shocked?
I love how they do take a shot at the Ultimate Warrior in that movie. I do love that when Kerry
Yeah,
Von Erich comes home as the Intercontinental Champion. Fritz says, your partner, Hellwig, he'll never make it there. He shouldn't be champion. You should be champion. I love that little subtlety, little subtle shot by Fritz.
yeah. Nice shout out to Tommy Rich too.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So it was a good snapshot, I guess. They kept it pretty tame. It was a pretty good snapshot.
Dr. Tom, this is from Craig Seaback. Bad News Allen told a story about you getting very drunk in Japan. The other wrestler stripped you naked inside a bar. Can you tell your version of this story?
Yes. Excuse me. On my first trip to Japan, I'm 21, and I'm going to enjoy myself no matter what. But I'm with these guys: Bobby Duncombe, the Samoans, Bad News. Gosh, I'm trying to think of Samoans, Bad News, Bobby Duncombe,
Jimmy Del Rey.
Ken Patera. No, Del Rey wasn't there.
Oh.
I'm 21 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, this didn't happen recently. Sorry, John. But we went to a strip bar and everybody was drunk. But since I was the rookie, they put me on the stage. So that was all. And the Samoans came out and they drop kicked a police car. Sika drop kicked a police car. Yes. He and Tiger Singh and Mr. Ito were in the snow in Japan working an angle, and all the fans had gathered around. And the cops came. And as we're coming out of this bar, Bad News had me because I was drunk. I knew that. but he stayed there with me. And then we took me out of the bar as the Samoans are squaring off with Ito and Tiger Jeet Singh. And Seika drop kicked the cop car, and they took him to jail. They got him out though, but they took him to jail.
So you were naked inside the bar. That is actually true.
Well, I'm not going to confirm or deny that.
That's
That's not a confirm or deny story. I'll confirm that I did get very drunk. I don't think anybody stripped me naked. I think the girl on stage was doing things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you sleep with Sonny when you were a heavenly body?
No.
Tammy Sitch. Are you sure?
Does the Pope shit in the woods? Is a bear Catholic?
So that's a hell no.
Not no, but hell no.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough, Benny Loco. Fair enough. What's going on, Dr. Tom? You gave me a match review during COVID. This is Jefferson James coming all the way from Nova Scotia. Do you remember that?
Well, right now I don't Jefferson, but if you could remind me, probably would.
Did you do a lot of match reviews during COVID?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was going to say, if you didn't do a lot, okay. Here's an interesting picture that somebody had sent to me, and they were wondering if you could tell me what this picture is all about.
Well, what do you mean?
Why is JBL in this picture? Like, what's going on here? I know Rock wins the title, obviously.
We were backstage. That was the night I was going to be the blue blazer. You can tell by the tights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we were backstage, and they were taking pictures, and me and John just jumped in and said, take a picture with us. And we did.
Are you and JBL longtime friends because you're both from Texas?
I think we're longtime friends because we're longtime friends. I think if he's from New Jersey, I still like him.
So the Texas connection. But I just thought the picture's interesting too because Rock, obviously, you trained him. JBL is obviously your buddy, but three of you guys together is like, oh, interesting. Like, where did that come from? Just funny. Like, so it's just a filming thing and has nothing to do with anything.
No, we were just backstage, and they set up pictures over there, and Rock was taking his pictures. So I walked in and said, hey, man, let's take one together. And then John walked in and said, let's take one together. And we did.
Simple as that. All right. So there's no crazy backstory to it. All right.
Well, then we went overseas to Afghanistan, and we assassinated 4 foreign spies. we had to dismember them and bury them in the Nevada desert. So
that sounds about right.
So right before the mission, that picture was taken.
Now, Ibsen wants to know, since Ken Kennedy said this afternoon on a live podcast that the best advice you ever gave him while training was, don't know what I'm looking for, but I'll know when I see it. Do you remember giving Ken Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson, that advice?
I might have. That sounds like something we might have discussed. Because I think, there's times when you're asking each other, man, what do you tell these guys? The basics and fundamentals never go out of style, but at the same time, you can't just have a basic fundamental match every match. You've got to go out and entertain. So as a coach or a trainer, you got to ask yourself, what can you say to these guys and gals to resonate? Because they're paying you money to train them. And nobody wants to be thought of as a cash grab or a ripoff or anything like that. At least I don't want to. And I'm sure Ken Kennedy doesn't want people to walk out of his school unhappy and miffed that they came and paid all this money for absolutely nothing. But sometimes I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know until it just something organic happens. We got a guy, name is Bruiser Bob, missing his 2 incisor teeth and canine teeth or whatever, and looks crazy and kind of goofy and but he's authentic, and he may not be the best worker ever in the world, but he's not bad, and he'll get your attention. So I didn't know I was looking for it, but I just looked for the little things that I saw that maybe he could accent on or capitalize on. So a lot of times, I'll watch a match and say, well, what can you tell me about the match? Well, I don't know because it looked pretty damn good. Let's watch it back and see what I can pick out. Because in the moment, I want to enjoy it too. But I'm also looking for the little things. Unless it's glaring, it's like, man, go out there and just work your magic and do it. And do what you think is right. Because 9 times out of 10, it'll be okay.
And Ken wants to let you know that he cherishes you. So Ken Kennedy loves you.
Did you talk to Ken?
No, Ibsen was saying he heard it on another podcast. Ken Kennedy was saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, cool.
I did just talk to Rico Constantino, and he said that you basically saw him, I guess, wrestling for Jesse Hernandez, I think, out there, and you saw him and thought, I don't know what it is or what he has, but this guy has something. I don't even care how old he is, and
Yeah.
maybe you didn't even know how old he was, but you thought he had it. So he obviously is a big fan of you.
Well, he looked younger than he was.
Yes,
he was in great shape, and he had a great attitude. So that's
he
the
was
other thing.
He was making a joke that Cornette said, "I didn't know you were 38."
Right.
Thought he was 28. Yeah.
Right. Right. He was talented. Extremely talented.
He still looks like he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Probably is.
From Jason, I thought Iron Claw was good, but I felt they kind of sped through some of the most pivotal aspects of the Von Erichs' lives. That said, there is only so much you can cram into a 2-hour movie. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it was there's a lot to cover. That's why I actually was curious when I went in how much they were going to cover about the Freebirds, and it was just that blur. Like here's something starting, and then they go down the line with it. So, but
Barbara said she hasn't seen it yet, but did the Von Erichs party as much as the Freebirds?
well, I would think because they were all in there together and they did a great angle. So I think they'd celebrate together too.
From Magazine Retriever, I think that Aaron Dean Eisenberg did an amazing job playing Ric Flair in the Iron Claw when he asked the Von Erichs to go out to drinks with him. The classic Ric Flair behavior. It's funny that guy got a lot of heat for that. I had no problem with the way he portrayed Flair. You don't want to be an exact imitation, 100%, because then it comes off as pretty cheesy. I didn't mind him.
No, but I thought Will Ferrell did a really good job in whatever. What was the show? He was the
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down. Yes.
That's comedic, but that is hilarious. Yeah.
See, I would have Will Ferrell do that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't have any problem with it either. I didn't have any problem with any part of the movie because I kind of went in there knowing everybody was saying, well, it's not exact and it's not in chronological order, and they leave Mike out. But it was based on a true story. It wasn't a true story. It was based, so they could, put ketchup, mustard, pickles, whatever they wanted on there.
Right. Like the boys weren't technically born when they said they were born. They were actually born a little bit later.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's poetic liberty and do what you will with it, I guess. But I thought it was pretty good.
Now, here's something I wanted to ask you about. Ibsen's chopping at the bit here. Thoughts on the WWE going to Netflix with Monday Night Raw in 2025? Good, bad, or indifferent?
So I hear this streaming thing they talk about is the future, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
So I heard something about that. So obviously they're moving in the right direction. And that's one thing I think WWE's always been good of is getting on board with the next trend. So I'm not real good on social media, but I know it's a necessity and an evil presence sometimes in this world. But I think it's going to be great because more people are going to go find it on Netflix, and it's going to. I see nothing but upside for it.
To me, just crazy the amount of money. So it's 10 years, could be 10 years, $5 billion. Like,
right.
Ooh-wee, double what USA was paying them.
Right. So how do you say no? Yeah,
And then the rumor was Amazon for a while, but supposedly Netflix shot them out of the water too, offered more money. So how do you
yeah,
turn that down, right?
right. So I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing for Raw. I think it's a great thing for Netflix. Because I mean, that's where the future is.
For sure. Look at the NFL. They had a strictly Peacock game of the playoffs, and everyone was saying how risky it was, which I still think it's pretty risky, but it had 23 million viewers.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, oh my God, wow, 23 million people at Peacock. Holy crap.
Well, and that's what I mean. The more affordable they make things like Peacock and Hulu and Netflix and things like that, the more they're going to get. So I think it's great.
To me, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, come on, how much could you get? Your WWE Raw, your ratings have been that good. And then they come back and like, oh, we just got $5 billion. It's like, wow, oh my God. It's more than
Right.
just your ratings. I mean, it's many other factors.
Well, they've got a lot to market. And they've got a lot of fans that are split like football, and I don't get a chance to watch Raw or SmackDown too much. But when I do, I do. And I saw are they the football legacy belts?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yep.
So they have one for each team.
Except for the Jaguars. Yep.
There you have it. But they're capitalizing on football fans
Yep.
who want to take
Well,
their
because
belt.
AEW's father, whatever, Shad owns the Jaguars. So
Right.
they were pulled, but yeah.
Yeah. So, they know how to get people to come watch their stuff.
Man, just insane the amount of money involved there. Just what a deal for WWE. Killing it right now. They're talking about a hot streak. They're killing it right now.
Yeah, you got Cody and Punk. I thought the promo they had last week was incredible. Or
Yeah, I
this
like
week.
that a lot.
Yeah. So, who's going to win the Rumble?
I would think CM Punk, but I'm not even sure because now I'm reading online that people think Gunther's going to win it. So I'm not even sure. I would assume Punk, but what if Rock is in it? Then wouldn't Rock win it? You know what I mean? So he can challenge Roman,
Yeah, but with Rock,
or should Cody win it to challenge Roman again for Cody Roman too?
yeah.
Kind of pretty interesting.
So what do you do with Punk?
I don't know. I was hearing that it's either Punk versus Rollins for the title, and that he'll somehow win it at the Elimination Chamber. Win the title shot, or Punk versus Rhodes, which would be interesting. I don't know who the hell would win that one, but that would be
Right.
interesting as well.
Yeah. So does
They got a lot of main
Cody?
event guys over there.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have.
Yeah,
So
because if Cody's fighting Roman, that means The Rock's probably not on the show. But if The Rock's on the show, he's got to fight Roman, I would think.
yeah, if The Rock's on the show, he's fighting Roman Reigns. That's all. There's nobody else.
It's so interesting. I know they got a lot of positive things going on right now with WWE.
Yeah, then they got the talent to back it up.
And did you notice that The Rock is now part of the TKO board of directors?
Yes, I did.
Getting paid $30 million to do it, to promote the brand.
So $30 million to do what he's already doing.
Yep.
Which is great.
And he becomes one of the board of directors, so he's pretty high cheese up there. He's got a lot of power, which is very interesting. Maybe that's what he meant when he said he wanted to sit at the head of the table. Maybe he meant board of directors.
Of course he did. Of course,
Not a shot at, but not a shot at Roman and the title. Because then he threw out there when he was promoting it. He said,
I was being a smartass, but yes.
But he also said when he was promoting, he said,
You're
acknowledge
being a smartass too. Yeah, acknowledge me.
And then to throw it on top of that, did you see he now owns the name The Rock?
Yes. So things are going pretty good for Rock.
Yep. I just thought that was interesting that he didn't own that before. I know a lot of the guys in WWE, like Undertaker, he doesn't own Undertaker. Edge obviously doesn't own Edge, but it seemed like for a while guys were kind of getting smart to it, obviously Hulk Hogan owns Hulk Hogan, but like guys figuring out like I need to own my name. So Warrior became Warrior. You know, you got to own your name. So it's good that The Rock finally owns The Rock.
Right. Good for him.
Some sad news here. Did you see Ice Train died from WCW?
I did not see that.
Only 56.
Wow.
Super nice guy
WCW.
too.
Wait. That's not Gary Jackson.
No, Harold Hogue from was Ice Train. He was a
Oh, okay.
tag partner with Scott Norton, Fire and Ice. He was MI Smooth,
Okay.
the limo driver. Huge guy, like just muscles on top of muscles. Massive guy.
Well,
Strong as hell too.
that's too
Crazy.
bad.
Died only 56 years old though. Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I saw him at a convention a few years ago. He looked amazing, like amazing shape. So
Well,
R.I.P.
you
Ice
never
Train.
know. Yeah.
Brendan, a new stable. Evening, gentlemen. Hello, Brendan. From Scorch, I always thought that Kerry Von Erich's amputation was just above the ankle. In the Iron Claw, the amputation appears to be mid shin. Do you know how far up the shin it actually was?
No, I don't have a clue. I thought it was cut off at the ankle too, but I never really, no, never had a clue.
According to the franchise, Shane Douglas, I guess they would room together sometimes in the WWF when they were there together, and he was saying that it was ankle that the ankle was gone because I guess he had it on in bed one night or something, and it fell off the bed, and he wasn't wearing or wasn't covered up with a sheet, so
Yeah.
he didn't mention that he saw it, but he saw it. He said it was cut off basically at the ankle. So I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe the movie was easier to do it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Maybe so.
Crazy that Kerry Von Erich was that athletic and he only had 1 foot. Like him doing that spinning punch, the discus punch.
Well,
Crazy.
it's crazy that everything happened to that family like
Mm.
that. I mean, that's crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
Jerry Hilliard. Dr. Tom has always been my favorite heel and always will be. Wow.
Wow. Well, thank you, Jerry. I don't know if that. Well, yeah, thank you.
I always kind of thought, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I always thought Stan Lane was just a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, maybe you're right, John. What do you want me to tell you? You could be right. You could be wrong.
Hey, Jerry Hilliard's opinion, though. He can't break it, though. He says you're the best and his favorite. Jeffrey James says his real name is Jeff Ferguson, by the way. That's the guy with the from Nova Scotia that you helped during
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
Friar Ferguson. Great
No,
gimmick.
it's not Friar Ferguson. It's Jeff.
Friar Ferguson was a great gimmick, though. Brendan's back. He says, not sure if you saw NXT or not, but glad to see William Regal back on TV and WWE. 100% it's a shame that he was never world champ. Do you have any good William Regal stories?
Nothing I could tell. No, I had a lot of fun with Steven Regal too. He was. We got into Deep South in McDonough, Georgia, and he just started circling, and we had a match without saying a word, like about a 20-minute match. He's just one of those guys that's a natural. Could go anytime.
So apparently, when he asked for his release from AEW, they released him, but he wasn't allowed on TV for a certain period of time. Now
Right.
he's allowed on TV. He was on NXT, and he anointed Ava Rain, who's The Rock's daughter. He anointed her the new GM of NXT. So when Rock's ringing the bell, his daughter is becoming GM of NXT. Kind of nice little day for the Johnson family there.
Very nice. Yeah. Not bad if you can get it.
Was kind of hoping that Regal would return to TV. I wasn't sure if he was because I know he has more of a backstage role, but it's always good to see him on TV. I felt like he was one of the only good general managers that they've had in a while that I don't know, actually seems like very professional. I don't know. He just seems like that guy would be the general manager of the
So
company. You know
you're
what I mean?
saying Nick Aldis isn't professional?
No, he is. No, I'm saying in a while before him. So now I like Pearson Aldis for sure, but for a while there, they were. I don't know. The GMs for a while just that gimmick sucked, but I feel like Regal kind of made it okay.
Yeah.
You like Nick Aldis?
Love Nick Aldis.
When is he going to wrestle? That's what I want to know.
He's going to wrestle on the 4th of July. Come
Makes
out.
sense.
And yes, we have a British invasion scheduled for that day too. And that's when it's going to come out and lace up the boots.
As they should. Barbara's got a great question here, and I hope this is actually going to happen. She said, "Will Mandy Rose be at the Royal Rumble? Is she due for a return?"
I don't know. Do you think Mandy's coming back?
I'm not sure, but man, if anybody follows her on Instagram, you know that she's keeping herself in great shape. So
Yeah.
she could easily come back, and she looks like $1,000,000. She has, I don't know how many millions of followers, but she has so many followers. So I feel like she really kind of has a built-in fan base if they were to bring her back. And she was NXT Women's Champion when released her. She was NXT Women's Champion for like a year. So I feel like she had a lot of good equity. So I would bring her back for sure.
Well, yeah, things are always changing. Isn't Netflix a little more free and open?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not that they're going to do anything different or radical, but they could do something different.
You know what's interesting? I was reading about Netflix. They don't do ratings per se or viewership numbers per se, even though you can get them. They do via hours. So they do hours watched.
Mm.
And you do the hours watched minus the episodes, and then you can kind of do the math and figure everything out. But what if somebody doesn't watch the whole season of something? You know what I mean? It's very weird the way they do it. So there's a show called The Night Agent, which is really, really good. I would recommend to anybody that hasn't seen it. That has the most hours viewed, 812 million hours viewed.
Wait, that's everybody watching that. 812 million hours.
Yep. So then you figure out that divided by, I think it's 10 episodes, I think it was, and then you figure they might have had like you know what I mean? What do they have? 80 million viewers or whatever,
How do they
whatever
know?
that
How
math
do
turns
they
out to be.
know? They just look at the schedule, I guess, to see what's on there, and at that many hours.
And Netflix keeps on the back end. They just keep track of how many people are watching it and for how long they watch it for, and that's how they do the math. But The Night Agent is the most viewed show, which is an awesome show. But I was just shocked. 812 million hours. Like, wow, how many damn people are actually watching it? Holy crap, that's a
How
lot.
many? Yeah.
I know they have. I think they might have 300 million subscribers or something. I mean, they have an insane amount of subscribers for Netflix. So who knows? It's crazy.
Well, yeah. I just had a girl tell me tonight that when there's a pay-per-view, she goes over to her neighbor's house and watches it, on the Peacocks. She doesn't have the Peacock, but so even if you have a subscription, you can have like 4 or 5 people over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And hmm,
You can't share your password anymore, though. They charge you.
yes, yeah, that's true.
From Mike Ditka, 1989. How often do you hang out with Bruce?
Ooh, not much, man. He's in Connecticut. I'm in Tennessee. The last time I hung out was his birthday. And that was March.
Brendan says, "Don't forget The Rock owns the rights to his name, The Rock." Now, yes, we mentioned that. Yes, very very true. William Chili Willie. Yes. Could The Rock take Triple H's job someday or even someday own WWE? Remember Chili Willie
Hey,
from ECW? Yes.
yes, I do. Hello,
What do you think
Chili
about
Willie.
what do you think about that?
Rock taking Triple H's job? Anything's possible. Anything is possible.
Very interesting owning WWE because that was a rumor a while ago because his buddy is Nick Khan. They've known each other forever.
Mhm.
Obviously, they both have connections to people that they're worth, God knows how much money, but they also have connection to people worth so much money. So that was a rumor a while ago that Rock and Khan might be interested in buying WWE, but obviously they both don't need to. They both have very prominent executive roles now.
Right, right. So,
But I could see Rock becoming part of the ownership team
sure.
eventually.
Not out of the contrary.
He's an entrepreneur.
Sure.
Were you a fan of Chili Willie the wrestler as far as him in ring?
Of course I was.
Nice. Random question. Did you ever get a chance to pick the brain of Terry Funk during the Attitude Era?
Not during the Attitude Era, but it was right before in Smoky Mountain. So, but Terry was Terry was my favorite wrestler growing up. So just listening to him talk and be him in the back was cool.
Phil, better late than never. Hello, Phil.
Hey Phil,
Phil was saying I thought it was more like half the foot with Kerry Von Erich, but no, I think it was chopped off at the ankle.
don't know.
From Craig, in the sportatorium, were there more real rats or ring rats?
Well, Dallas had both, but I don't know which was who had more. There's a lot of rats all around Dallas.
It's crazy. Sportatorium, very legendary, just like the
Yeah.
ECW arena, but not the nicest places in the world.
They had charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Nordquist. I've been watching Kerry Von Erich's matches post amputation, and I noticed that he favors the leg that is his left leg. His left foot bends, but his right foot does not. Saddens me to think of his pain.
Yeah, I don't think any of us can really imagine it unless we've been through it. So,
Oof.
yeah.
I still, when you watch, it's like, wow, the hell is he doing these discus punches? You know what I mean? He's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Brendan, I think we finally see Jade Cargill in the Women's Royal Rumble. Talk about looking like $1,000,000. That would be nice to see her out there.
Yeah, I hope she does. I hope she starts this Saturday. What time does the Rumble start Saturday?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. And are they just the Rumble matches?
There's the world title match, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus LA Knight, 4-way. There is also Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship as well.
Okay, so there's 2 matches and 2 Rumbles.
So far, yeah, I think that's all they announced.
Okay.
Triple H, man, to his credit, and I like it for pay-per-views. I know some people may not. He does the longer matches, fewer matches, and the show usually goes about 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't go crazy lengths.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty succinct. He does a good job booking the shows.
Good.
Funny thing about him is he does so much better as a booker than a wrestler. Like focusing on other people rather than focusing on pushing himself. I feel like he's done so much better.
Well, some people really do excel at that. Michael Hayes can do that too.
He's a great agent, Michael Hayes. Magazine says, Dr. Tom, some wrestlers from your era say that some TSA agents used to wear the wrestlers' championship belts without their permission. I think they should get fired for that. Is that actually true?
I think they got permission. They probably got permission before they could do that. Or I don't think the guys minded. I really don't, because it was better to be on their side than
Right. Them not bust your balls. Yeah.
right.
What tag team do you want to see in the WWE Hall of Fame? You and Jimmy, the Heavenly Bodies, the Natural Disasters, Orient Express, or the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers?
You know what? I like the fabulous Rougeau brothers. I like the Mountain. I like Ray Rougeau. And I think they should be in the Hall of Fame. But the Natural Disasters, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame too.
Did you see they're doing a Dark Side of the Ring on Earthquake?
No.
Yeah, they just announced that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Other than him obviously dying way too soon, I don't know how you're going to get an hour out of that because he supposedly Ray was one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, nice guy.
Or is there some other sort of maybe Dark Side of Earthquake that I'm not aware of?
I'm not aware of any Dark Side.
They're doing one on Harley Race as well. I thought that was interesting.
Well, probably just the way Harley was brought up.
Yeah, no. Some of those are just interesting. Your old friend Chris Colt is getting an episode as well.
Well, good. There should be a Dark Side episode of Chris Colt.
Very interesting season. I won't go into it too much because there's some other questions here, but it looks interesting. From the return of Mike D. Wow, I like that. The return of Mike D is his name. That's actually somebody should do that. It's actually a cool gimmick name. But is it true the Nasty Boys are going to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2024?
Yes.
Wow. Is this news from Bruce, or where are you getting this from?
I just pulled it out of my ass. I don't know if the Nasties are going in 2024 or not, man. It's January and nobody's told me anything about anything. So I'll just say yes. That way it'll get a rumor started and somebody will say, oh, hey, this is what they said on that podcast. Yeah.
I was talking to
hey, they said the Nasty Boys were going in 2024. Is that the only way we're going to get somebody to quote us? Say, hey.
Yes. There you go. They're in. We officially said it right here.
Yeah, we said it
Interesting.
right here.
I just talked to Scotty Steiner, and he was telling me an awesome rib that him and his brother played on the Nasty Boys. So when they were driving in the car, I guess the Nasty Boys put powder in the air conditioned ducts, and they put some toothpaste or something on the wheels. So when the Steiners touched it and then put the air on, they got hit with the so good prank by the Nasty Boys. I love the Nasty Boys because they don't care. They might be about to get beat up. They don't care.
Yeah.
The Steiner brothers find them in the locker room, beat the hell out of them, stripped them naked, tied them to some chairs, and rolled them out in front of people.
Yeah. They played for keeps, man.
But the Steiners said they wouldn't have done it, but the Nasty Boys messed with them first. So Scotty said they had to get them back. So I understand.
Yeah, I understand too. So,
but he said Nasty
Boys. In fact, the Steiners are going to indict the Nasty Boys. They're not going to introduce them. Or
I like that.
They're going to indict them. They won't induct them. So the Steiners are going to induct the Nasty Boys in 2024 Hall of Fame. You heard it here first.
Brandon said, I remember the huge rumor Rock was in on buying WWE. Yep, that was definitely. Does anybody know what Vince is up to these days? Well, he was at the stock exchange yesterday morning with the TKO. He is the executive board member of the group. So he was there with Ari and Mark Shapiro and all those guys, and The Rock, of course, and Nick Khan and Triple H. But Vince is right there. No more mustache. The rib is over.
Ah, good for him.
That mustache was terrible.
The mustache was great.
Or great.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Dr. Tom, Eric Bischoff said that WCW may have taken Brad Armstrong for granted. He says that Brad may have been a victim of his own versatility as far as not being you're given a bigger push. Do you agree?
100%. Yep, I sure do. Brad was too nice, too giving, too able to do everybody's style, and was great backstage. But he was very giving. You know what I mean? And that happened.
I just talked to Scott Armstrong. He loves you, says you're like a member of the family. He loves you. But he was saying the same thing about Brad. Should have done more, but he came up in that era where it's like very serious. Baby faces were very serious, and they didn't really have too much of a gimmick. He was kind of following a little bit in Bullet Bob's footsteps, but interesting from Scott. I didn't even realize that Scott was old. For some reason, I thought Brad was older than Scott, but he's not. Scott's older. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Scott's the oldest brother.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because Brad was in the business first, I just thought Brad was older.
Yeah.
Barbara saw an interview with Bruce, and he said Dr. Tom used to be a mean mofo. He said he beat the hell out of him when he suggested his girlfriend may not be a virgin. Can you expand on this?
I don't think that's true. That's not what happened.
Oh.
I don't think anyone has ever questioned the girls that I've dated being virgins or not. Most of them were not. So there.
Were you ever mean to Bruce?
Well, I don't think so. But maybe in his eyes I was. Maybe I was. But
did you bully him?
I don't believe I did.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should have.
Maybe I should?
Yeah. Should have. Not
anymore. Should have. I was going to say, you're going to get me anywhere. Maybe I should.
Man, that's interesting. He's calling you a mean mofo. That's interesting, though.
Well, maybe in his eyes I was.
Come on, Bruce. Lighten up, Bruce.
Yeah, lighten up, Bruce.
Interesting question here from Jason. I love this. Who was your favorite member of Kiss?
Gene Simmons.
Really? That was
Yeah.
quick. No Paul Stanley. Wow. Okay.
They asked my favorite member.
Barbara, by the way, throwing it out there, she had to clean up the language because he didn't say mofo. Oh.
Son of a gun.
Would you like Orton Express better with Kato and Tanaka or with Sato and Tanaka?
Soy sauce.
I like Kato.
Orient Express with soy sauce. Thank you.
I like Kato and Tanaka better, by the way, with
Oh.
Fuji-san, with Mr. Fuji-san.
Kato and Tanaka or who and Tanaka?
Sato was the other one.
Oh, I like the original. I like Kato.
Well, Kato's the second one with Paul. It was Paul Diamond under the hood.
Paul Diamond under the hood, yes.
Yep. Saw that Sherry Martel is getting her own Dark Side of the Ring.
Man, this is becoming depressing.
All these dark sides, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Another one I saw that was getting one, Sandman.
Why?
I don't know. I'm baffled by that one too. It's like, oh, because he drank a lot. Like that doesn't mean anything. He's like happy as can be. It seems like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't. I don't know. Maybe they're going in a different direction with Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know.
Yeah, dark side to the light side. I don't know.
Brutus Beefcake is another guy getting one. I know he's had some downs, but
sure.
Wow. How was Michael Hayes in 1995? Even during the Attitude Era, was anything different with Doc Hendricks?
I think he was drinking then. I don't think he's drinking now. I could be wrong. That could be. Let's start that rumor now too.
Yeah. He stopped drinking. Michael Hayes officially stopped drinking. Congratulations, Michael.
There you go.
He's had how many weeks of sobriety?
I don't know. I'm not counting, but I'm thinking, yeah, things are different. Just Michael. No, things weren't really different because Michael's always had passion for wrestling.
Midnight Express Hall of Fame, yes, of course, and Dr. Tom, of course. Dr. Tom, I think you ended your in-ring career at the right time to avoid becoming bitter about the business. Some of your contemporaries resent not getting big pushes in their 40s and 50s. Do you agree with that?
Well, I agree that I stopped working at the right time. Sure do. But I don't know, man. I think Ricky Morton's still out there working.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't blame anybody for having a passion for the business. If that's what they want to do. I still like the business. I still want to be around it, but I know my limitations.
So who is your favorite guitar player?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jimmy Page was pretty good. I'll go with Jimmy Page.
What about Jimi Hendrix?
What about Jimi Hendrix?
What about Angus Young? What about Eddie Van Halen?
What about Angus Young? He played 3 chords. It's the same 3 chords every song.
Yeah, but come on. TNT.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying. He's asking who my favorite is. You know, right. I can have other favorites, but we'll go with Jimmy Page.
If you get in the Hall of Fame, who inducts you? Vince, Bruce, or Cornette?
Bruce.
Love it. I find it amusing that Bret Hart refers to the Rockers as
small. Wait. Let's make that headline too. Bruce is going to induct me in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, let's go back to this. Where's Ibsen's question here?
Okay, let's see who's listening. So, so Bruce is going to induct me in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
I want to make sure. So we saw that right there. Okay.
Yes. I think, excuse me, Frank says, I find it amusing that Bret Hart refers to the Rockers as small when he was about the same size as each of the Rockers.
Okay. Could be amusing.
I might be wrong, though, weight-wise, though, because I've asked a bunch of the guys. Bret probably weighed about 30 pounds more than each of them. From what when I was talking to some of the guys, because they said Michaels and Jannetty actually, small, but not that small, but they were actually like skinny, like legs were skinny. They didn't weigh as much. So Bret probably weighed around 230. Michaels and Jannetty probably around 200 What I always ask interesting questions like weight of the wrestlers, but I was actually curious of what they really weigh.
It could be.
They
Could be
didn't
his.
look like they were that much different in size, but yeah, I was
Right.
always told that Brett was probably about 230 or so.
I thought Brett was maybe 220. He was in shape.
Solid. Yeah.
Solid. Yeah.
What trainer taught Sandman to smoke cigarettes and smash beer cans on his head?
You'd be surprised. I don't know. I don't know who it was.
That's one of those things you just got to pick up on your own.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you got to be a little more creative. You're on your own. Say, oh, can I smoke cigarettes and smash beer cans on my head and drink beer going to the ring? That'll never get over.
Congratulations, says Ibsen.
Yeah.
Would Bruce dress his brother Love to induct you and say that he loves you?
Yes. Bruce is going to dress up his brother in 2024. Yeah.
Frank was saying the build weight of Michaels was 240, Jannetty was 230, and Brett was 234. Interesting.
Yeah, that was build weight. I don't think. I mean,
Brett and Michaels are probably about the same height. So, I mean, weight wise, you wouldn't
yeah.
think that they were too far apart. But I know Brett was definitely thicker.
Yeah.
What did I miss here? It was here it is from magazine. Sherry Martel told Randy Savage, "You might keep Elizabeth locked in the locker room, but don't ever lock me in a room." Shortly thereafter, Liz stopped traveling with Randy on the road. Thoughts?
Oh. Sherry said that. Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think that's crazy.
Her getting her own Dark Side of the Ring. I think you probably should be interviewed for that. No.
Well, I haven't.
Hmm.
And I think they already got those in the can. So.
Yeah, probably. You should have been though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was wondering who trained. Oh, Ibsen here. Who trained Jimmy Del Rey?
I believe that was Steve Kern or. Yeah, I think it was Steve Kern.
Maybe Cloudy and Bruce will induct you. Wow, Cloudy. That would be interesting.
Cloudy. Bruce just had to cancel. Cloudy's gonna indict me into the 2024 Hall of Fame.
Oh, ATF got a non-Ronnie Garvin question here. He says, "Do you think Pistol Pez Watley said, 'Why does that guy have my body?' when he first saw Coco Beware?" Good question.
That's a good question. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Pistol Pez and Coco, similar
Yes.
body types. Yeah, for sure. Finally, Steve Vendetta says, "How did you acquire the Doctor honorific, if you will?"
Well, I went to 4 schools and perfected my craft. It took me 30 years to become a doctor, but I finally did. And hard work, determination.
If it makes sense, Randy was locking the door to the woman's locker room, that Sherry would be locked inside. I can see why Sherry would be irate, is what Dell is saying.
Well,
Locker room.
yeah, I
Sherry's
think.
not gonna have that.
Yeah, I don't think Sherry had that.
Before we wrap it up here, got to talk about your book, Dr. Tom. Where can everybody get the awesome book?
That book right there, you can go to jpwrestlingacademy.com, check on the book. It'll take you to a order page, and you can order it there. That's jpwrestlingacademy.com.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. You can follow Dr. Tom at Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, what else you got going on in this crazy world?
Oh, we got a lot of stuff going on, man, but it's too much to list. So we'll do it next week.
Barbara wants to know where you can get an autograph copy.
Just email me at jpwrestlingacademy@gmail.com and ask for an autograph copy, and I'll send you the information.
Jason is back in the New York groove. He said his favorite is Ace Frehley.
I like Ace.
Can't
It's
argue.
my favorite. No.
Can't believe Ace wasn't a part of the end of the world tour. Weird. I thought maybe he would have came out at MSG. with
Hey,
Peter
sometimes,
Fresh,
man, when
right?
you get the boots to you, there's no recovery. They put the
And
boots
by
in.
and by the way, Waylon Merson will be at the convention in May in New Jersey that you're going to be at. So
Awesome.
love that. And
Yeah.
of course, looking forward to seeing you in the Hall of Fame. Long overdue. Thank you, Bruce, for indicting.
Cloudy's going to
Oh,
indict
Cloudy.
me.
I'm sorry, Cloudy.
Cloudy. Bruce had to cancel. So let's make it Cloudy.
All right. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in. See you right back here next week for a little Take It to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. See you next week, folks.